Welcome back to Hero Training. Put on your capes and masks and let's go. Last week we talked about diligent. And diligent was doing something until the end, trying hard and working till the end. This week I had some help putting up some wallpaper, and I had to be diligent with my friend to put that wallpaper up because it was a little bit tricky. And Bryn had a new Lego set that she put together this week, and she had to be diligent, and she had to keep working till she got it finished. Another friend of mine had to help his aunt with some jobs, and I know he was being diligent when he was trying to finish those jobs. This week, our focus is going to be on joyful, choosing happiness no matter the situation. Sometimes this is kind of hard. A lot of us have been at home a lot lately and we haven't been able to go somewhere. And it's been kind of hard to be joyful about that. But you can try and think of some of the joyful things about being at home. You've got to be with your family, you get to play with your toys, and maybe you get to spend more time outside. We had another example of being joyful this week. We went to the pool and we were ready to swim. We got in the pool and we're ready to go. And 5 minutes later, it started thundering, so we had to get out. So we were trying to think about how we could be joyful in that situation. And my friends thought of a couple of ways that they could still be joyful. They said that it cooled off a little bit. It wasn't quite as hot. They also said that they got to play outside in the backyard instead of swimming in the pool, and they still had a good time. Can you think of a time that you were joyful? I know when I wake up in the mornings and I see the sun shining, that makes me feel joyful. Why is it important to be joyful? Others can see Jesus through you when you have joy in your heart. We're going to read a story today about how God brought joy through unexpected blessings to Abraham and Sarah. Son of laughter. Years passed and things didn't get any better. People were still just as cruel and mean to one another. They still got sick and died. God's world was still full of tears. It was never meant to be like this. But God was getting ready to do something about it. He was going to make all the wrong things right, and he was going to do it through a family. Abraham, God said, how many stars are there? God was about to tell his friend a wonderful secret. Let me see, Abraham said, rolling up his sleeves. But have you ever tried counting stars? Then you know how hard this is. 993, 994, 997. No wait. 1, 2. Of course, he kept losing count. Too many, he said. Guess what? God laughed. I will give you so many children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, you won't be able to count them either. Abraham couldn't help giggling at such a wonderful idea, but he stopped himself. How could he have a family? Don't be silly. He didn't have any children, let alone grandchildren. He wiped away a tear. Anyway, it was far too late for him to start having babies at his age. He was 99 years old. What could God mean? Abraham, God said, believe me. And then God told Abraham his secret rescue plan. Abraham, I will make your family very big, God promised, until one day your family will come to number more than even all the stars in the sky. Abraham looked up at the dark night sky, thick with stars. You will be my special family, my people, and through you, everyone on earth will be blessed. It was an incredible promise. God was going to rescue the world through Abraham's family. One of his great-great-great-grandchildren would be the child, the promised one, the rescuer. But it's too wonderful, Abraham said. How can it be true? Is anything too good to be true? God asked. Is anything too wonderful for me? So Abraham trusted what God said more than what his eyes could see, and he believed. Now, when Abraham's wife Sarah heard God's promise, she just laughed to herself. But it wasn't a happy laugh. It had tears in it. She'd always wanted a baby. Could her dream come true? Could she really have a baby when she was 90 years old? No, of course not. Don't be silly. It was far too late. Sarah didn't believe God could do what he promised. She had forgotten that when God says something, it's as good as done. Of course, it was easy for God to give her a baby son, as it was for him to make all the stars in the sky. Sure enough, 9 months later, just as God had promised, Sarah gave birth to a baby boy. They named him Isaac, which means son of laughter. And Sarah laughed, but this time it was a glorious, happy laugh. Her dream had come true. God would do as he promised. He would always look after Abraham's family, his special people. And one day, God would send another baby, a baby promised to a girl who didn't even have a husband. But this baby would bring laughter to the whole world. This baby would be everyone's dream come true. We read our story about Abraham and Sarah. Sarah's joy came from knowing God's timing was best. What are some ways that Jesus was joyful? Jesus rejoiced in the Holy Spirit. He has joy when someone repents. The joy of Jesus helped him endure the cross, and the joy of Jesus will reside inside of us. How can we be joyful even when bad things happen? We have to choose joy and look for the good. Today, our memory verse is, "A merry heart does good, like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones." Proverbs 17:22. Remember, you can memorize your verse this week, and we also have some coloring sheets if you'd like those. If you need those coloring sheets, let me know and I can make sure you get those. I have one more activity for us today. I have some friends that are going to come up and help me sing a song. I've had this song in my heart this whole week when I've been thinking about joyful, and you can sing along with us.
Okay.
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart to stay. One more time. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay. All right, thank you. I hope you enjoy singing that song this week too. If you met one or more of your challenges from last week, make sure you see Mr. Martin or myself at church so we can get your sticker. And if you're not at church, let me know and I'll get your sticker to you. Here are your challenges for this week. Memorize this week's verse. Number 2, do something to bring someone else joy. Number 3, have a joyful dance party and bring joy to other people or to yourself. Like Jesus, we can trust God to bring out the good in every situation. And we can be joyful too. Good luck!